Hi guys and welcome back to Christian Casts where I build bait so you don't have to. So today we're gonna do another variation of our swim bait. It's gonna be quite a spontaneous one. I have no idea what we're gonna do. I put some colors out, olive green, brown, gold, blacks, and a little bit for a scale pattern. We're gonna try and actually go with white today as main scale color. So if you're interested to see how it turns out, stick around and we'll see each other. I'm really happy that we managed to get the 2,000 subscribers, and funny enough, I actually saw that I think up over 90% of the people watching my videos aren't subscribed yet. So if you feel like it would really help the channel a lot if you just subscribe, and I will set you up to the desk straight away and we'll see each other and we'll straight away get into grounding our bait. So see you soon. Welcome back to the desk. As you see, we're working with our swim bait. It still is the favorite 3D printed lure that I have made, and I'm now actually going to be going on vacation. So I am going to be going to Portugal, and while I am there I will actually try to create some new lures, and in my free time when I just feel like it, and we're gonna see what we are able to get, and maybe we'll get something that even is a improvement on this bait. And now I'll just ground it with some white. I anyway know most of you know this process already, but we'll get started. So that's going to be the first coat. We're going to go over the belly one more time once that dries, and we'll straight away head on to the tail. So that's gonna be off drying, and then we'll come back with some colors. I don't know if you actually saw the video where I took one out to spin and try and actually catch something. I'll maybe pop it up here or there. It's also in the new region I am actually fishing in. We aren't that lucky at the moment because I am still trying to find spots where there are fish. It's quite hard. I've also talked with a lot of people that are in this region already, and they're all having problems, and they're also going to try new possibilities of restocking the river, but I'll maybe make a video once to that if you're interested, and we'll wait a bit and get over to the color. Well, we have let everything dry, and we're gonna go ahead and take our brown, and we're gonna go over the top. We're gonna try today to make a lure based with brown. We're gonna make a golden lateral line. Then we're gonna use our stencils with some black, clean up all the overspray with some olive green, and then go over to the scales. So today's going to be a easier lure to make with minimal colors, and we'll just see how the end result turns out, and we'll just go ahead and start spraying. So there we go. I'm happy with how that turned out. We're gonna clean this out. If you actually want to get into airbrushing, I saw a lot of questions also around what is a good budget airbrush to get into the hobby, and because I am in a community in Reddit where the topic of building lures, and I saw a question about budget airbrush and tools for lure building and how to get into the hobby. And I might do a YouTube video about a long-term review to this airbrush because it is very well made and I can't really say anything against it, and it wasn't the most expensive, but I will try to do that in the next video maybe and show you guys how happy I actually am with this, and also about the price and everything, and maybe some different tools that you can maybe get when you want to start, because I also didn't know if I actually want to do the bait building, but I saw it as an opportunity when the season is closed for fishing, that I can still create some lures for myself and maybe take them out as soon as the season starts again. So that's pretty much how I got into this whole bait building. And I also don't have the most expensive compressor, but I'll put all the links of the stuff that I use in the upcoming video. And now we'll head over to making the golden lateral line. So we have got our gold locked and loaded, and now we'll go ahead and make a lateral line. Pretty much just like that. And now we'll then head over to the stencil, and we'll just add a black classic stencil over, clean up the top with the olive green then, and then we should be starting with the scales, I think. So as you can see, the black is loaded. I don't have any pages anymore as underground, so I'll have to get that again as soon as this bait is done. And we're going to be taking our stencil and some black, and we'll be lining this up a little bit with the eye again, and just coming over very gently. So that is going to be the first side. I'm actually quite happy with that. And as soon as it's dry, I'll flip it over and we'll do the other side and see how it turns out. We will now line again the stencil and try to get it as symmetrical, although that doesn't really matter too much. So the second side is finished. Now we will still clean up the top with some olive green, and then we'll actually head over to the scales already. And I'm quite excited for this because we're going to try a new color. It is a pearly white, it's a metallic medium, and we're going to just see how that turns out. We'll use that and silver as the second coat of the scales, but you'll anyway get taken with on the process. We have got our olive green that we will now take to fix the overspray of gold and everything and just darken down the spine in the next step. So we have now darkened down the top of our lure, and it looks like that at the moment. I'll still go over this a little bit more. There we go. And now we actually will be heading over to the scale pattern, and as I said, we will be loading in this metallic medium. It's like a white, a pearly white, I would say. And then in the second step, putting some silver over that, just very lightly, and we'll just see how that turns out. And yeah, let's hope for the best. We prepared everything for the scale pattern, and we have got our pearly white loaded. And now we'll go over and do the first layer. We're gonna go a bit thicker on the scales today. So that's gonna be the first coat, and now we're still gonna go over with some silver, maybe with a drop of black to just darken down what we actually created now. And we'll just spray from an angle that, if you imagine the airbrush, when it comes out of the nozzle, it's like a cone. So if I go at an angle parallel with the lure itself, the paint particles actually sit further back. So if you see now like this, if I spray here, it doesn't show as well, but it goes in an angle out, and we'll be using that a little bit on the next step of our scale pattern. So we've got our silver mixture in, and we're gonna just go ahead and spray from this side. So that's gonna be it, and we'll let that set, and then we'll check what we're working with. So let's see what we're working with. I went quite heavy on these scales today, and we'll see how that looks. So I'm quite happy. The original color will come out a little bit more once we have got the clear coat on, and that is pretty much the front. And I would say that's nice and got a nice shimmer. And now we'll get everything ready, glue in the eyes, and then we'll clear coat it and see how the final result looks like. So, last step before the clear coat, as most of you know, is going to be gluing in the eye. And we're going to be working with that. That is a little bit too much of glue. Clean that off the side. Also see that we don't get too much on the eye itself, because super glue turns murky and we don't want that. So now I'll get everything prepared for the clear coat, and then I'll take you with shortly. So as most of you know this process, we are just going to show you how the colors come out under the clear coat, and then I'll see you guys for the outro. So this is what we're going to be working with today, and I will now just make sure that there are no bubbles and we've got a even coating, and then we'll set it off to harden, and I'll see you guys in the outro in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back to the outro. I'll show you the final lure that we were able to make today, and I went quite heavy on the scales. Maybe next time I'll hold myself back a bit. I'll still see how this one actually runs on the water, and also see how its action is. I really like the split bait action. If you haven't seen it yet, you can check a video here or there, I'll drop it. And I am hoping to actually make another video where you see it in depth, maybe in a pool or in a very clear river, because at the moment it's been raining a lot, so the water is very murky, so we can't really do that. And I just want to thank you guys for staying around for so long and holding through all the bait builds and watching my journey on how I did it. I found one of my first baits I made, and I just compared the new baits that we've been doing and the old ones, and I just found it cool to see actually how far we've gone. And maybe I'll maybe make a comparison video or something like that. We've got some exciting things coming towards us. I'm gonna try and make my first soft bait in the future, and I've also got some unboxings and everything, so I'm not sure if we're actually gonna do a bait build next week or if we're gonna do something different. I would also like to update my channel intro, because I looked at it again and I thought, yeah, it's been quite a while since I've done it, and there's a lot changing in the channel with the whole bait building and everything. And I also would like to make a video where you guys actually get to know me a little bit better, who I am, what I do, if I'm not in the workshop or fishing. So, and also a bit how I actually got to all of this. So if you've got any questions, you can drop them in the comments, and I will build them in the upcoming videos. And I wish you guys a great one, and we'll see each other for the upcoming videos. And so we'll maybe see how this one catches anything, who knows. So cheers.